Hello partners, we're going to have another partner video. Today we're looking at all things auto, marine, could be trains. All the surfaces are exactly the same actually. So that is a painted surface on a car, it's the same as a painted surface on a motorbike, it's the same as a painted surface on a boat. So all the surface is exactly the same. Your job is to work out from what we're saying, all the information that we give you, how to conduct the application. But we're going to spend the next half an hour or so talking about all of these surfaces. The first thing that we do is we want to test for if it's got a polish or a coating on it. And it in fact has got a polish and coating on it. We don't know what it is. If I do a contact angle test here, put a drop of water, I can see we've got a relatively high contact angle, higher than it should be for an ordinary painted surface. So we know that there's something on here. If I put a drop of water on here, it runs off because it's on a slope, but we notice that it is a typical hydrophobic trail after it. It's not hydrophilic and moving slowly. On here, that's a typical hydrophilic shape there. We call it a snail trail. You can see that the water's left on there, but here it's hydrophobic. So if this is your boat, your car, your motorcycle, could be an aircraft, could be a train, to make a really good job on this, we're first going to remove this coating. How would you do it? If you're a detailer, you know exactly what you do. You would buff this down with a cutting compound, finishing with something like a 3000, 4000 grade compound, and you would take it off. You could use a clay bar, any system to remove that surface. Sometimes you can use, if you know what's on it and it's a silicone wax, you get a wax remover and just remove it. We're not going to do that today. We are going to assume that everything has been cleaned, otherwise we'd be here for hours. We are going to clean the glass differently. We'll show you a technique for cleaning glass in a second, where we are going to use abrasives, etc. So, first thing, we're going to look at our most straightforward and simple coating. I'm taking off that surface. Now, ideally, you would clean this thoroughly, but I'm just going to show you something. It's not overly dirty. Everything that we do, we normally spend a great deal of time cleaning and preparing. But we've got a coating, which I'm just going to show you now, our 7654 coating. That's the Boeing certified coating. And to be quite honest, we're not expecting it to last for years. We want it to last for 3 months, 4 months maximum on a car. But it's so quick and easy, and this is how you apply it. We wipe that, spray it on. We take a cloth, it could be this little microfiber, it doesn't make any difference what it is. And we just do that. That is all we do. I'm just going to coat this part here. Okay, that's it. I don't actually have to come back. I've got my film crew around me here, that's who I'm looking at the moment. I don't actually have to come back and buff this again if I don't want to. Or I can come back in 5 minutes and buff it. What will I get from that? I will get very, very durable SiO2 based coating. Does everything I want to do. It's hydrophobic, easy clean, but it's not long lasting. But you see how easy it is. You just bit of cleaning, spray it on every few months. If you're on a boat or have a car and you don't want to do long term deals, just spray it. I use this for my shower at home. On the tiles, it coats the tiles, it coats the grout, and I do it actually every 9 months in my shower. It doesn't, it lasts longer. On a car, 3-4 months. So that is our starting easiest coating. We're going to walk through thicker coatings, and we're going to move from thin to thick across here. So first thing I'm going to do is approach this as if it's a standard car, hasn't got any waxes on it, but I need to give it a clean. Right, we have the best and most straightforward procedure is to use biosativa. We know how efficient that is as a cleaner. It's much more efficient than an alcohol cleaner. So I've got some biosativa here. It's mixed to about 10 to 1. Comparatively strong mixture. We're going to take a tissue, could be microfiber, anything you could spray it on, but we're working in a confined area. So I'm just going to put that in place. This will, as we know, break down all the contaminants that you would get from typical diesel exhaust contaminants that sit on top of cars. Okay, so with our biosativa, as I say, we know it is much more efficient than an alcohol cleaner. We will use alcohol in a minute. I'll explain what we're going to do. So if we were doing the whole car, we'd go around the whole car, then we would rinse it probably with a hose pipe, something like that, or any sort of, but it's got to be rinsed off. We're just going to use water in this environment here. So we let it act. So do the whole car, don't do it panel by panel, do the whole car, spray it, then dry it. I'm going to clean this thoroughly. As I say, it doesn't make any difference. We're just going to do it as an example. So we've rinsed, hose pipe, hose pipe, hose pipe, all the stuff's coming off there. And I don't know if it's catching up on here. You can clearly see the hydrophobicity here, that there's a coating in place. It's not the best coating, but it's still in place, and that would technically impede the adhesion of our coatings. We would have to move that. So all the biosativa will have been rinsed off by now. We're now going to use alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, or this is just ethanol. And you can either put it on your cloth or spray it. This latches, the alcohol latches onto any available water. That's in all these tiny little micro scratches that you can't see, but they're there. That aids with the drying. And I've noticed actually that the alcohol is starting to take off that coating. So that coating, whatever that coating was, is sensitive to alcohol. And finally, what happens is the alcohol will lift any little particulates that are in those crevices. We're working at true nanoscale, so we've got to be clean. The alcohol lifts up those little particles. You'll see it as a slight mistiness on the surface. And so we go one more time and we'd buff it to take all those little contaminants away. But I do stress that we're just doing this assuming it's ordinary paintwork without a layer that we know is in place. Yeah. Before, if you wanted to wind this video back, you'd see that the hydrophobicity was much greater than it is now. So as I say, we've taken that, what I think is a silicone, alcohol sensitive, and we've started to break it down. In fact, if I kept on using alcohol, I would remove that coating. I wouldn't need to use a cutting agent. But all you detailers that are watching this would always use a cutting agent and remove it back to the good paint. So what are we going to do now? We're going to work from thin to thick. That's our thinnest and easy water-based. And we're going to start now and say, right, what do I want to do with my car, my motorcycle? I want a DIY universal coating. And that is going to be our 673. Sticks to any surface, glass, metal, plastic, visor, outside, front of the visor, helmet, motorcycle body. It will last on a car with all the abrasion and whatever about 9 months. About 9 months, maybe more. If you put your car through a car wash every week, 6 months maybe. But it's so quick and easy. Next we're going to put on here our 7656. We would normally predict a year to 18 months. Of course you can use these on alloy wheels as well. 673, 7656 and alloy wheels. The next thing that we're going to go for is our 643. 100 nanometers, 100 nanometers, 643, 500 to 700 nanometers, nearly a micron. It's going to last a lot longer, give you significantly more protection, but it takes longer to, you have a little bit more care to apply. Next we're going to go for our classic 640 here. This is used worldwide, and the world's most expensive car has been coated in 640. We'll talk about the attributes later, but we know that we're going from 100 nanometers to approximately 10 microns, significantly thicker, 100 times thicker. And finally, we've got our 7640 coating, and this is a coating that's midway between the 643 and 640. It's an easy to work with coating at approximately 6 to 7 microns. So we've had a little edit and tidied up these, and now we're going to show you the applications. 673, very typical universal coating on a car, any surface, this surface, glass surface, car seating. This isn't a car, but it's the same seating. So let's look at it. We recommend you spray it onto a cloth, less airborne particulates. So we spray it onto a cloth or pour it, we take it on, we wipe it evenly and walk away. It's simple. We'll come back to that in 20 minutes, 20 or 25 minutes, and buff it. If you try to do it less than 25 minutes, it swirls around. Leave it 20-25 minutes in 20 degrees, that's fine. Car seat, the same thing. Synthetic leather on a boat, on a car, anything you like. Very straightforward. That's all synthetic car seats, can be painted leather. This is our universal, do everything, nice and easy, then we buff it afterwards. You can multi-layer this, so I could put another one the next day on top of it, or after an hour. Most of our coatings you can't multi-layer. So next we go to 7656 on here. Same principle, we use these type of wipes, very straightforward, alcohol based, spray it on there, wipe it on. You have to work it a little bit more, this one. Leave that for, keep on applying, leave that to dry for about 10 minutes, and then you buff it. And to buff, we recommend you use a microfiber like this one here. So afterwards, we buff that, then beautiful coating, very durable, painted surfaces, metal surfaces, not for glass. You can also put it on here. 7656, slightly more robust than 673. Okay, we're now going to move over to our 643 coating. If you notice, we use one of these small microfibers. With 643, you're going to cover the whole car. This is typically what you would use for the whole car. You want longer protection, hydrophobicity, contact angle about 100, 110. Not the highest contact angle. You can actually put the 7654 on afterwards if you want to increase the contact angle. They do work together, but very durable. Quick and easy to work with. Semi-pro, quite a strong, you have to do this in a lot of ventilation available. Always wipe this one, not really suitable for spraying, and make that even. And a little bit would go, normally we'd cut this in half, but I'm just showing you the principle. And you work carefully up and down like that. Okay? Now this one you can be a bit more, you see I'm doing this just to show you, you can be a little less conscientious with this one. It's easier to work with. You can't really make any mistakes. So that is on. What do? We wait about between 10, 15, 20 minutes, depending on the weather, and then we buff it again. We don't wait an hour, that would be too long, be hard work. Unlike the 640, we don't have to do it straight away. We can wait 5 or 10 minutes. We can do a big panel and then do another panel and then buff it gently. And we use the same sort of microfiber, smooth microfiber, and buff it. This is typically what you could use on a boat, on a train, on a hull, stainless steel, soft furnishings even. On this, you can use it on here. But we come back and buff that afterwards. Last for about 18 months to 2 years on a car that's driven and used quite heavily, which is a long time. Next we're going to our 640 coating. This is our pro coating. Just to remind you, this would be typically what you can put on a car, boat. We do this for trains as well. On a train you would normally spray it on. Spray it and walk away. On a car we have to be careful, because this is a perfect example. We have a black car. Now this is an older black car, and we carefully wipe it across here. And I hope that this will show you before and after. You get quite a strong colour change. As this is an older black car, you may get away and just not polish it, not buff it. But if it was a highly polished, typical modern black car with a new black car, maybe a year old, with high quality paint on, you would definitely buff it afterwards, because you can get a prismatic effect as the sun or the light bounces off the black, highly polished black paint. This is not highly polished, but on a new car, highly polished black paint comes up and you get it goes through the glass layer and you get prismatic effect. And here we can show, again, enriches the colour, makes it darker. A lot of people really love this. Now, unlike the 643, let's say it's taken me 1 minute to do the whole body panel. It's straightforward, up and down like that, as I've just shown. If I touch it, which I don't do what I'm doing now, if I touch that and walk away, put a finger mark on there, I'm in terrible pain. I'm not going to get it out. I might get it out just now. Let's have a look and see. But if I touch that, walk away like I've just done, go and have a cup of tea, come back 10 minutes later, I'm never going to get these out, really. So we have to be very careful with our 640, and we get it, and within a minute we buff it. And I've just got away with that. If I did it 10 minutes later, so we buff that, because we're going to, on this black car, we're saying, oh, it may leave a prismatic effect. So I buff it like that, and then I can use a superfine microfiber and quickly buff it again. But this is to remind you guys that this is a pro coating only. Really take care, practice before you use it. We don't want people making mistakes. Now we go to our new 7640, and this is similar to this 640, excuse me, down here. We use the same sort of microfiber, but the big difference is you can both multi-layer this. So you'll put one layer on. If you, I want a little bit more, you can do. You can multi-layer a little bit, and you don't have to buff within 1, 2, 3 to 5 minutes that we suggest for the 640. You can leave that 10-15 minutes and buff it. So here we go. Very, very easy to work with. Again, we use the same sort of microfiber that we had before. And you can be quite liberal with this one. You don't have to be so precise in the application. Again, it will enhance the black. As you see, I'm not being precise with that, because we are going to buff it afterwards. So we've applied it to the car. We're going to let it dry 10 minutes, and then we're going to very lightly buff, not a heavy buff. So imagine 10 minutes has gone, we come along, and really quite lightly we would do that. We'd wait a little longer than I've just done now, but a light buff on there. Right, drying times. And this, by the way, is really hydrophobic. That's one of the beauties of it. You put water on there and it's, I would say, contact angle 110, 115, very, very, people love it for that reason. Higher, slightly higher contact angles than these. Massively durable. So let's say 18 months to 2 years. Full layer of that, probably 10 years. Buffed layer, 3 years. And this will be 2-3 years with a buff layer. And here we have a polish. This is our two-in-one polish. Super easy to apply. So all you would do is you pop that on. You can put it on here as well. Do your body panel. Do the whole car. Let it dry. Come back in an hour. Doesn't matter. I'm just doing this quickly. And this is super, super slippery. So I would normally, if we weren't doing this to video, I would normally let that bond for at least half an hour on the body panel. And then we take a microfiber, which I'm going to do now, and buff that. So all we would do is buff that after waiting longer than I have. And all the people who've used this will notice you'll go across here and it's super smooth, super silky, and it's like going from and your microfiber slows down as it gets to the ordinary painted surface. Okay, our standard coatings, all of those suitable for planes, planes, cars, inside, outside, dashboards. Okay. So on a boat or train, we have fabric-coated fabric seats. Quickly, 7689 or one of our other fabric coatings. 7689 is our premium, highly certified, Hohenstein tested, confirmed. So all we would do, you could use a big spray, a small spray. You would moisten, and you can see it's getting darker here. You moisten and then you take your hand and push it in. So you do that in the whole. So you take it, moisten it like that, all over. Then you come back again, and the next pass makes it easy for it. And finish with a gloved hand. That's all you have to do for the fabric. Fully moisten the surface, used a gloved hand to push it in. This is super durable, this coating. Doesn't need any heat to cure it, but fully functional when it's dry. Technically, it takes a week or so to get to full maximum strength, but completely serviceable as soon as it's dry, 12-15 hours later. Normally, I'd recommend people do this in the afternoon, the evening, let it dry, and then people can go on carpets or seating. If you've got a super yacht out there and you've got a silk carpet, you don't want anybody to damage it with salty feet or red wine or anything, this is the answer. So we've obviously moved the car door round now, and we've got, of the millions of acres and windscreens and glass panels, we supply the best coating. Of this there is no question. Our 7601 is fantastic. But first, we noticed that this is very badly stained, this windscreen. It's got a lot of maybe different agents are stuck to it. So we're going to show you the technique for cleaning a very heavily contaminated screen. It may have a coating on. We know the door had a coating on. So we're going to use 4-0 wire wool, not 3-0, 4-0. You don't use it on the paintwork, it will scratch it and dull it, but you can use it on the glass. And then we put our Blue 1000 polish on, and then we work. And we're going to clean this, and depending upon the contamination, you'll always find you pick up a lot of dirt around the side of the windows there. Don't worry, because we're going to clean this anyway afterwards. If you've got a boat and you've got salt burning, this will remove the salt burning. You have to work a bit harder, but the Blue 1000 and this wire wool will do the job. So we've removed the heavy contamination. We're going to use alcohol to remove the Blue 1000. So normally you would do the side windows and all the windows if you're doing this. And it's biodegradable. The Blue 1000 is biodegradable, so it matches all of the things that we try to do. It's very dirty inside this window. See all the dirt coming from here. If we'd have hosed this, we'd have used a hose pipe, a lot of water, we'd have done that. If you go down the side here, you're always going to get a lot of dirt. Make sure that if you clean the side, you don't go there. That's the final clean, is there. Put that down here. We start again. All of the effort, all of the time is in cleaning for this project, for coating. And we look at we're still taking, that's moisture, but I can still see dirt inside there. Again, round the sides, a lot of dirt. We don't. Okay, put it away. If you'd wash this off with water and biosativa, I would say we would be clean by now. That's just the edges, I'm not so worried about that. It needs one more. As I say, all the energy is in cleaning. It's clean, that's moisture, no black coming out now. So we let that dry a little bit, and just as with cleaning that surface, you'll see the little bit of contaminants that will lift out of the glass. We let those lift out with the alcohol. Wait a few more seconds and then we buff the surface. If you're cleaning a windscreen and it's really contaminated like this, I would say the quickest you're going to do it is 10 minutes. If you're using the Blue 1000 and the wire wool, 10 minutes. So it takes a little bit of effort. That's now ready for our coating. We sell this, of course, we provide this in wipes, but we're just going to use a DIY. We're going to create our own wipe. And we would put about, on this cloth here, sorry, I folded it like that. I would say we'd put about 10 mil on there. Fully moisten the wipe. $10 mil will do our full windscreen. And all we do is wipe it across. Imagine this is a windscreen or the bridge window of a boat or a train windscreen. We're doing some train windscreens at the moment. Keep on working it. You'll see that there's a little, and soon any little droplets are worked into the glass. Keep on going until the cloth is dry. Keep working, keep working, keep working as I'm doing now. Up and down, backwards, hatch process. That's it. Okay, so we let that dry. You'll see a slight bloom on it. That's the extra SiO2. That's not necessary for the bonding process. We let that dry for about, depends on the temperature, 5 to 10 minutes. If it's really, really hot, you buff after 5. If it's a winter's day in England, it's 6-7 degrees, you leave it 10 minutes. With our microfiber, and we buff. Imagine that it's been 10 minutes. Nothing complicated. That's the process. That's a car windscreen. That's going to, we say 2 coatings a year gives you guaranteed protection for a year. So that's what we suggest for for car windscreens. Bridge windows, train screens. So there we have it. All of these surfaces, as you know, we can coat. Please give us a call or send me an email if you've got any questions. That's what we're here for. But just to remind you, we do a pretty good job for all of these surfaces. Thanks for your time.